Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. So many of you here tonight. That's lovely to see. Plenty of new people, so we'll go over the basic rules and how this all works, and then we'll get right into it. So tonight we'll be going to be discussing whether the internet making people more and more connected is a good or bad thing, whether we are becoming more connected, more atomized, the positives and negatives. The way this debate functions is through four main speakers who are asked questions and they reply to them, and you guys vote at the beginning and end on the content of those speeches. We see whether you've been swayed. Next week, we're going to be discussing whether having multiple partners is immoral. It's same time every week. Over the course of this debate, if you think, hey, this is cool, I'd like to be a speaker, PM me, and we'll make sure you're signed up as a speaker on that debate. We've already had one of the slots filled. More places to be had, more experiences to be gained. This is a great way to get public speaking experience. So you should all be about to get a ping with an initial vote. Abstain means I'm kind of swayed, or I see both sides, all this kind of stuff. Basically, I haven't made my mind up yet. So if you want to abstain...
plus 3, Paco.
Okay, there we go. That 3 will disappear at the end. So
if you guys vote for both, that means you should probably vote for 3 instead of for both. Wow. That was not expected.
It's almost as if on an internet community, people like the internet.
Yeah. Surprised, though. This isn't about liking the internet.
So, I'll bring up our first person then. Oh, and that will be Fusion. Fusion, whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
In today's world, nearly half of the population uses the internet, but with this comes many downfalls such as online bullies, spreading of illegal content, scamming, and multiple other things. The consistent themes of my points is that the internet is connected people to each other, but in doing so anonymously, it provides a screen behind which people can do sick acts, meaning the connections are more often perverse, twisted, or cruel than benefiting people that make them. Firstly, in generations past, bullies were isolated abusers. They picked on a single target in small groups, making them feel lonely and unloved. The internet has magnified and worsened this phenomenon. Now, bullying is like wildfire. An individual can be plugged into a network of people who hate them with just a few clicks, connecting the abusive to the vulnerable. Is it any wonder that against this backdrop, suicide rates are on the rise? With apps such as Whisper and After School, people are able to spread things anonymously, causing a widespread of possible fake information. The internet has allowed information to be spread around quickly, but sometimes the information isn't always correct or true. With this, roughly 64% of students in high school who have claimed to be in situations like this said it impacted their feelings of safety and the ability to learn at school. Following this, nearly 14% of students have experienced suicidal thoughts and 7% have attempted it. Secondly, another big thing that has come with the internet is the creation of the dark web. The dark web is part of the internet that is quite harder to access, but it is filled with countless websites filled with illegal content, such as bestiality, child porn, hitman services, and so on and so forth. One instance of this was a website called Silk Road, a drug-selling website, which the creator was arrested in 2013 for having over 12,000 listings from everything from to heroin. There are countless guides online on how to access the dark web, but VPN blockers and other browsers, so you can find these websites, making it easier for those people who are even just a little bit curious about them to find them. Just accessing the dark web can send off red flags to the FBI. Thirdly, on the internet, someone can be whoever they want to be by creating an online persona that they can bend to their own will. With this comes the chance of a person not being who they truly are on the internet. You may meet someone who you think is a 20-year-old girl from Brazil, while you may actually be talking to some 50-year-old man. Now, this may not be for sure, as there are some people who show who they really are out there, but there is a small chance of someone being who they aren't online. In these situations, people may fall in love or even try to help someone who's lying. With people faking who they are, there is also the addition of scamming for these people and fake items being sold, or even people tricking those into giving money for some causes or fundraisers. Back in November of 2018, a couple, Mr. D'Amico and Miss McClure, had turned themselves in for running a fictitious campaign on GoFundMe that had gone viral. They had created a feel-good backstory that was filled with lies about how Mr. McClure was out getting gas but forgot her wallet. Therefore, a homeless man gave his last money to her so she could get gas. The couple had taken a picture of the man when they had supposedly came to return the money that he had given them. Over 14,000 people had donated over $400,000, and the story was soon featured on multiple news organizations. After the fees from the GoFundMe, the couple had raised over $367,000, which was all spent on casinos, cars, handbags, and countless other expensive things. This is just one example of the many scams that happen on a daily basis. In conclusion, the internet is simply harming us due to the online bullies, the spread of the dark web with illegal content, and the scams that come with people who may not be who they are. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for Fusion? Yes, there are. Victor, you have a question, but you don't have a mic. Can you PM that to me and I'll read it out for you? Meanwhile, Ceylon.
Yes. I have a question in that, do you think that because the internet has gotten more close together, that buying and selling has gotten easier with the legal things?
That I do agree. It has gotten easier, but there's still the chance of things not being what they are.
Right, thank you. Crimson.
Yes, I was just wondering, I understand and I do agree with you that through the internet, some people can achieve in being very deceptive and very greedy and have harmed people. However, do you think that it could be possible that these actions could be, the severity of them could be negated if more knowledge of the internet was more widely available to people? If people were more aware of scams and how to recognize them, they wouldn't fall for them as much. Instead of telling people that connectivity is a dangerous thing, instead, do you think that through collective effort, such people, through increasing the punishment for doing such a thing, and maybe people who are more savvy to recognizing these kind of things, could help people before they fall into the trap?
Well, the one thing with making it say the punish is more severe, you still have to think about, even in today's world, where say how some states have the death penalty for murder. Some people will still murder. So even with increasing the severity of the punishment, I don't think that would change it. Now, with teaching people to be able to look out for these things would probably help the internet, as it would lessen the amount of scams that go on. But there's still the chance of, say, someone who's new to the internet not understanding. So there's still the chance of it not going as well.
Thank you very much. Now, Victor's question is, do people reveal their true selves when they use when they are online? Do people reveal their true selves when they are online?
I don't think anyone on the internet truly reveals who they fully are. They may give hints to who they really are, but I highly doubt there is a single person that has said everything about them on the internet.
Yeah, thank you. Ceylon, do you have another question?
Oh yeah.
All right. What's yours?
Do you think that the current art renaissance that we're experiencing right now would happen if we didn't have the internet? Do you think people would buy more artwork if we didn't have the internet?
I think people would buy more artwork, as with the internet, you're able to simply download an image and print it out and put it on your wall. When we didn't have the internet, you would actually have to go out, buy a painting, or get a painting done.
Most people would just go buy prints. They wouldn't commission. But oh yeah, I think
we have more questions, unfortunately. Bones is after Bones' question. I'm going to stop taking questions for Fusion. So if you want to ask Fusion a question, now is the time to react to the post. Bones, whenever you're ready.
Hey, my first time here. Hello, everyone. This is interesting. Thank you. So one of the points that I really clued into was awareness. So with the current age and how people communicate with each other, especially with all of the heightened emotions that people have been interacting with each other with. How could you really, reach out and communicate to people to raise their awareness when we're in a state where we are emotionally driven?
I think if we had more internet classes, say like in like when you're a child, middle school, like junior high, that they would do like a proper internet class where they taught you how to look out for these things. And maybe there be classes available for those who are wanting to learn more about the internet and how to avoid these things.
Right. Are there any more questions then? No, I don't believe so.